Madam President.
Senator from Maine.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, government shutdowns are never justified, and I have opposed every one of them. This shutdown, the longest in our nation's history, has caused real harm to 800,000 federal employees and their families. Just today, I heard from a federal employee in Belfast, Maine, who has worked for 32 years for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. He has 2 children with type 1 diabetes, and with the soaring cost of insulin, he was beginning to worry about how he would be able to afford insulin for his children. He was concerned that a prolonged shutdown would have an adverse impact on his insurance coverage. The shutdown has also hurt Americans' access to federal agencies and threatened housing assistance for low-income families, our seniors, people with disabilities. It's harmed small businesses that have contracts with federal agencies for certain services, and yet were not getting paid, and thus their employees were at risk of being laid off. And that's why I voted twice this week to end the shutdown and reopen government. Although neither proposal received enough votes to pass, we saw glimmers of hope that have produced results. I would note that after the failed votes, a bipartisan group of 16 senators came to the floor, and each one of us indicated a willingness to compromise. And today, I am pleased that there is real progress. The President and Senate Republicans and Democrats have come together and agreed to reopen government until February 15th, while negotiations on border security issues continue. That is so important, Madam President, and as the presiding officer is chair of the Appropriations Subcommittee on Homeland Security, I know she will be playing a key role in this area. But Madam President, let each of us on the Democratic side of the aisle, the Republican side of the aisle, and in the administration pledge that we will negotiate in good faith, that we will work to hammer out a compromise on border security so that we are not facing the same situation again on February 15th. I, for one, will keep working with my colleagues, with the White House, to ensure that hundreds of thousands of hardworking, patriotic public servants stay on the job, that this is not just a temporary reprieve that will allow back pay to be made to them as early as the beginning of next week, but rather that it will lead to a permanent solution so that we can reopen government beyond February 15th through the end of the fiscal year, that is until September 30th, and that in the future we can avoid ever resorting to the shutdown of government again. It is never good policy. So let us work together over this next 3 weeks, come up with a compromise on border security, and show the American people that we can govern effectively. Thank you, Madam President.